history and stuff like that already. And then, of course, the house is in his family.
Yeah, did
which
his
is a pretty
uncle
cool
die or something?
Something like, I don't know. It's something weird like
and
that.
apparently he's a builder of, I mean, he does have some architectural background because as soon as he walks up, he's like, it's not up to code.
Yeah, he already knows, yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? How does he know that?
It
Yeah, they
looks
have to throw
fine
that
to
up.
me.
It's fine, yeah. I would fucking move into this
There's
bitch.
a fucking temple in the living room.
Well, his girlfriend, Laura Park Lincoln, kind of walks in and she's just like, oh, God, it's so far away from the city.
Yeah.
Where's the phone at? And they already noticed that the altar's right there, too.
Right.
There's like something, it looks like
Something's
something
missing.
belongs there.
Like
you know?
something's missing.
Yeah, yeah. So they're already, he's already enamored with
Which
the whole place.
later on, at the end of this podcast, I will argue is not the fucking case. Anyways, go on.
Yeah. Well, that's whenever she's like, she grabs the phone and immediately starts talking to fucking somebody back home.
And
Right?
That we
can already-
find out is Bill
Bill
Maher.
Bill Maher.
You can
yeah.
already tell, though, she's like flirty with him and more happy when she answers the phone
Yeah,
to him.
that's
so you
the life
already
that she
know, like,
wants.
oh.
Yeah. That's the life that she wants.
Oh my God, you'll never believe that ad.
Well, she even says it's like terrible, but he loves it. It's a pit or something.
Yeah, yeah. She's just like, oh, this is gross. But I would have been like, holy shit, look at all of this stuff.
I know. Well,
Jesus
he
Christ,
was. He was
yeah.
in it,
Such a cool place.
And
I
of
mean,
course, he pulls out that book with his pictures of his family. He's like, somehow knows that
The
this
one
is his
book.
mom and dad, and
Yeah.
he knows that
hey, that's me.
this is his grandpa,
Yeah,
and
that
this
must
is
be.
his great-great-grandpa.
And he picks.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
Well,
You're a
they're-
fucking orphan kid.
Yeah, we're moving along pretty briskly.
yeah, well, they're in the library, and there's thousands of books in
So
there.
maybe this
And he
goes back
picks
to
the
the
one
aunt
book.
and uncle thing you guys
Yeah,
said.
Yeah.
yeah.
I just would like it to be somebody at a market.
Maybe
Go ahead.
he did visit it a long time ago, and he just doesn't remember.
Yeah,
Because how would he pick that book out of all of those
No,
books?
he
you
never
know?
visited it. It's
Correct.
fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
We have a script, but we're on a budget.
Hurry along, kids.
but
But
it
it's only going to
also-
let us go an hour and a half.
But it also it lends itself to the tone. I mean, really, when
It
if
really
you watch
does.
it a
It
second
does.
time, you're like, oh, okay, now we're just
yeah,
we don't
Yeah.
need to.
we don't need to dwell on this
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. Well, pretty soon they're joined by his friends,
Yeah.
his two friends.
Show up drunk as fuck.
Oh my God! Late at night too.
I know.
And they always said that's the running joke in the whole movie is everybody runs into the pillar.
The one pillar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's,
yeah.
this is
Clunk.
before Home Alone. So
Yeah.
did they steal it from that?
I don't know. Maybe.
From this movie?
Maybe.
Probably in
Yeah.
some capacity.
Come on,
Yeah.
John
hit
Hughes
it.
stole from everybody.
They hit it 3 times.
Yeah.
And it's pretty funny.
Yeah, and I mean they must be out kind of far away from everything, or at least close enough that they can go to the market and get alcohol and whatever.
And the cemetery.
Yeah, and the cemetery.
And apparently have a fucking caterer or something later. I don't know.
Yeah.
Again.
Just weird. But they're two fucked up people
Oh my god.
coming in. Like they've been drinking all the way there or partying all night and decide, hey, we're gonna go out there. They bring him a gift for his birthday, and it's this fucking magazine in a fucking frame. He's like, oh, thanks guys. Like this is a fucking thanks.
And they're
thanks,
drunk because they
dudes.
hand it to him upside down.
Yeah.
And he just won't stop laughing. Hey,
Yeah.
dumb Charlie.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that's kind of whenever
He's like a poor man's Jim Carrey.
No,
Ooh,
wait,
yeah.
these random people or family members?
no, they're friends.
It's
Friends.
his friends, yeah.
And
That
the
just
girl
roll
is
up and
his
they're
girlfriend.
drunk.
And,
Yeah.
and just to be, clear, the girl is his girlfriend.
Ah,
So,
But there's an ulterior motive
yeah,
for this too.
We
so,
find out
yeah.
soon.
What it really is, because the next morning they wake up and then they're both in their bed, and all of a sudden he pushes play on the fucking deal because he's waiting to see,
Charlie pushes play while
while his girlfriend dances to her song by Puce Glitz and the Avoiders.
yes, thank you. That's
But-
what I couldn't remember. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
but they give a little bit of foreshadowing when she's talking on the phone about how their opening act didn't show up,
right.
and they need somebody really fast.
Yep.
Yeah,
But
so
somehow they show up too because they're really wanting to break big because she's a music industry person.
yeah, that's his girlfriend. Jesse's girlfriend is like a music exec, right?
Yeah,
Like a-
yeah,
Yeah.
like a music
I think I
producer or
got
something like that.
something.
Yeah, and
What is this?
Yeah, and she she literally hears it down. She's like, she's on the phone. And she's like, wait a minute, hold on. She's like, let me take you to outer space. She's doing the dance and everything.
I love that half of the people in the podcast, I know you can't see this at home, did the dance.
Yes.
It was worth it.
Yes. And then, of course, Charlie's like reading his magazine upside down or some shit like that. Like, oh, hey, she's just practicing. Do you like what you hear?
Yeah, he
it's kinda-
jumps in the bed.
Yeah. Because he sees her walking down the hall. And
Right.
she's like, what's this? Let's talk.
Right.
And so, of
And
course.
of course, he's her manager. You know,
Yeah.
that's kind of his. He's a grifter of his own,
Yeah.
right? You know,
Yeah, and that's whenever he goes looking for Jesse. I mean, he finds Jesse. What was he downstairs? No,
like
he's
in
in the
the-
library, right?
No, he's
he's
downstairs.
in the basement.
Yeah, he's in the
Basement.
basement looking through old stuff, and then he sees a picture of Gramps.
Which
You know?
happens to be like an actually cool basement that you'll come
Yeah.
to find later.
It's
they
a
hang
huge
out,
basement,
They
too.
hang out in there quite a bit.
Yeah, and they show the picture of Gramps, and then he kind of knows the whole story of him
right,
right
So,
at that
yeah.
point
With the
too.
crystal skull.
He's holding the skull, but he looks like Royal Dano, like,
Right.
you know. And then you see the Slim Reezer in the back, you know, kind of by this big giant fucking pyramid.
Right.
Like, where was the pyramid at?
Yeah.
You know, did they really go looking for this back in the day and
South
they found
America,
it? Yeah.
No, but we find out later that he shot him in the Mojave and left him to die in the Mojave Desert. So
Yes.
You find out that was Shia LaBeouf after the Crystal Skull.
Yes.
Swinging on monkeys.
Yes.
Or
It was
swinging with
actually
monkeys.
Indiana Jones.
Yes.
So that was their adventure
I
adventure
knew it.
time of it.
I could tell.
Well, yeah, and he's like, I wonder if this
Oh.
skull is actually still there.
right.
Let's go dig up my.
Well, he
Great,
finds out the
great-
story of a second skull because it's not the same skull that's in the picture,
Yeah,
and supposedly it'll give you all this power if you have it.
yeah.
The skull.
He's
Like-
got a book about crystal skulls
yeah,
too.
he's like looking at the crystal skulls. He's like, "Yep, this is the one that gives you all like whatever your desires are."
Yeah, and he's like, look at the picture, and then they zoom in on it. He's got a magnifying glass handily,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Of course he
looking
does.
through
Why
all of
wouldn't
that
he?
stuff, and you see the actual skull, and he's like, this is the same one that's in the book, but it's not really the same one because this
Right.
is the second one for it.
Right.
This is the powerful one. So they get that bright eye fucking idea.
Oh, because the first one is in a museum or
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, they get the bright idea to go dig Gramps up.
Which makes total sense.
Right.
why
and
not,
they did
right?
mention that it would give you immortality.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So they're
they're
just
going to go dig Gramps up. Makes sense.
yeah,
Let's do
they're
it.
they're
It's a
just
short
kind of
drive down the road.
yeah. It's not
To
that it
Missouri.
can't be that
Good.
far, right?
Yeah. Well, Gramps being his great grandfather.
Great, yeah.
Yeah. So that's Gramps going forward.
And he was named after him. His
Yeah.
great grandfather's name is Jesse.
Yeah.
Jesse.
At what point
Yeah.
do you just let
Waffles.
it go? You know?
Yeah, right.
Just dig it up.
I know. They're just like, fuck it.
Waffle.
We got nothing else to do. Let's
Right.
fucking dig this old man up, right?
Yeah.
Which is a pretty cool. This starts kind of more of the comedy part of it too, where they kind of get into it.
And they think there might be like a treasure basically buried
Yeah.
there is what
Yeah.
it kind of they hint at.
They're going
like,
for the
You want to
treasure.
go dig this up? And Charlie's like, hell yeah, you know. But that's not what he says. He says something like,
But Charlie
okay.
seems like that guy. He's always down for whatever.
yeah.
That-
Yeah.
He doesn't seem above digging up a grave.
No, no.
Which until he starts digging it up, then he's like, I'm so tired. When are we gonna get down to the bottom? This is so tiring.
Which is
And they finally reach Gramps down there too. He kind of opens the casket up a little bit, and you can see the skull right through the crack.
Yep.
So, and you know, fucking home dude's like passed out because he's so tired because he probably hasn't done anything physically in forever,
Right.
except for choreograph a dance for Puce Glitz and the Avoiders. But yeah, I don't
I'm
think
sure he was not that involved.
he didn't choreograph.
Yeah, no.
He was just sitting in the bar like fucking you guys are awesome.
nodding with his Lloyd Christmas haircut.
Yes,
He's- he's-
pumpkin pie haircut of freak.
He seems very much like the guy that saw them and saw that they were semi-talented and was like, "Oh, by the way,
Yeah, I'm your friend now.
I'm a music, I'm
Yeah.
a music exec manager."
Right,
or
right,
something,
right.
You know?
But in this one, Dan, unlike Phantasm 2, the grave did look 6 feet deep.
It did. It
Yeah.
did.
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Unlike some of the like on Phantasm 2 where they're only
Yeah.
buried like 3 foot down,
Yeah.
like they could actually jump out of the graves. This
Yeah.
one was actually almost 6 feet deep. It was down there,
Mhm.
but they dig it up perfectly for digging up a grave. You know,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
haphazardly.
Without an excavator.
That's when Gramps' hand comes up and starts choking
Yeah.
Jesse. Like, and he's just like, "What? I'm tired of messing around. What are you saying?"
Right. Well,
like,
because of where the
"Charlie."
angle is.
Yeah, he just
see
can't
it.
see shit.
Yeah.
But it's fucking Gramps actually choking him out.
Yeah.
And then fucking doesn't he? He finally gets away, but then they throw both of them back into the to
no,
the
so
grave.
like he's holding
holding Jesse up and he can't
and
breathe.
finally Charlie
Yeah.
decides to charge, and he just kind of deflects him into
Yeah.
the grave.
Yeah,
And then I think he throws Charlie down there.
And then he
Or not
draws
Charlie.
Yeah,
Jesse.
Jesse. yeah. They're both in there trying to avoid getting shot because Gramps still has a nice
Yeah.
pristine fucking six gun on his hip. But he's covered in a mask, which the mask looks really weird too.
Yeah, it does.
It looks like a zombie mask. It looks like it's a dead person's mask. So this was planned, of course, by Gramps to get buried.
As you find.
Yeah, exactly. And live out the rest of his days just waiting for somebody to come get him, you know?
Right.
He says, I'm your great-great-grandson. And he's like, Jesse? And he pulls off his fucking mask, and he's still ugly, fucking zombie-looking dude.
But it's
anyway.
better, you know. It's,
But it's way better. I mean, he looks normal, kind
He
of.
looks like a person.
Yeah. So that's whenever they pick him up and they actually take him home, which is kind of fucking weird too.
Yeah,
Gramps.
that's where it starts to get weird.
So
and
they have kind of zombie Gramps.
Yeah, and they reveal the date too is like October 30th, 1986.
Yes.
So they're like you know it's Halloween's going to be around the corner, which
we find out pretty quick.
you know helps Gramps blend in, I guess is what the thing is.
Well, yeah. Whenever they get back too, Gramps is kind of mad that the skull hasn't really necessarily like made him young again.
Yeah,
Right.
Somehow, like even though he's been laying in a grave for like 80, 100 years or some shit like
He's
that.
also not very happy that he's been told he has to stay in the basement.
Yeah. Well, they take him down to the basement and throw a mattress on the floor. He's like, "Is this how you treat family around here?" Oh,
That's a
you got
pretty good
TV?
impression, man. That's
But all of a sudden he knows like movies and he's been watching TV. Down
Well, yeah,
there.
he has nothing else to do, and he's not tired. He just wants to go out. But that's when Charlie actually grabs him and they go drinking.
well, that's
Remember?
later though.
No, they do that like that night too. He's like,
Is
"Hey,
it that night?
yeah." He comes out and they both walk out to the car, and he's like, "It's a 1986 Alfa Romeo Spider."
Oh yeah.
And he hands him the fucking keys to it. Like you're gonna give a fucking old west dude some keys. You're not gonna show him anything, right?
So that happens before story time.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Because he literally like what however you say it, like he oh shit. They're Jesse's getting ready to go to bed, and he kind of sneaks into bed. So they don't really talk about a lot of the Old West stuff, you know, until like a little bit later,
Okay.
like right before the party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's like,
Sorry,
I'm not tired.
Sorry for my confusion.
Right,
Yeah, I
right,
got
right, right,
confused
right.
there,
No.
too.
It was just kind of it's the same scene, but like later.
It's just all in the same shot, the same and everything.
And then that's when they go out drinking, and fucking Charlie is such a dumbass. He's like, man, whenever I was young, you could see so many stars you couldn't go to sleep at night. And they've been drinking the whole time, right? He's like, well, you know, Gramps, it's the ozone.
Yeah.
Aerosol cans. What? It's like he's so fucking wasted. Like he has not making any sense.
He's making a political statement.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, and then they get up.
I feel like that's that character. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so
Yep.
yeah, Gramps gets up and he's like, "You're too drunk to drive. I'll drive home." And they still hit that bump. That's another running joke too, where they
Right.
hit the bump while they're going really fast with the country western music, the really fast stuff, the fiddle music. They fucking hit that shit. They hit the pillar again.
They come back down that
course.
same
Yeah.
shot, that same street, and hit the statue. Or whatever
Correct.
Again.
Correct. Yeah. So then we're at the next day.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
then we're at the next day where Jesse actually got some sleep or whatnot, and so did Home Dude because they're actually like that's right before because he wakes up Charlie, doesn't he, by putting vodka on his mouth because he's
Yes.
asleep. And
He's like, we got to go down there and talk to Gramps or something.
right. And then this is about the time when Bill Maher shows up too, isn't it?
I believe so. He's like, hey, I'm Bill Maher, and I'm wearing a very 80s outfit, and I'm acting just like myself.
Well, you know, Gramps does talk about how the house was built with using stones from the Aztec temple, and that most of it's a magical place. He kind of explains to him how magical it is because as soon as he walks through the front door, he's got to put the skull back in the altar, so it kind of almost starts the house back up.
Right.
You know, a little bit
which I disagree with, but go ahead.
Yeah. They're all the different rooms have hidden doorways across space and time, you know, and the skull is the key. And now he basically says that you guys now have to protect this skull.
Yeah, you guys got to protect
instead
this.
of me. Yeah. Then because that's again, Bill Maher does show up at that point, doesn't he? I mean, he comes in because they're going
just
to
goes-
lunch.
Yeah.
Because
Just takes his girlfriend, like, okay, see you later. We're going to go talk with... Oh, they go out to eat with that other girl, right?
Yeah, that's whenever
They're discussing.
Charlie uses the best line. He's like, "Oh, so who are you, Bozo the Clown?" He's like, "Oh, no,
yeah.
dispose of the death machine.
Yeah.
They kind of get into it. It's just, and then he finds out who he is, and he's like, "Oh, you're so and so. Great, nice to meet you. I'm the manager of the band." He's like, "Yeah, right, whatever."
Yeah,
Right.
You see his coldfish handshake
I know, right? Oh.
Yeah, Bill Maher.
too. Yeah, it was
He's
so
like,
bad. Yeah,
It's just like
he doesn't
limp
even move
fish.
his hand up, and the dude's